Ladies and gentlemen, I think Republicans are actually going to fight back. It looks like Republicans are actually going to fight back for the Senate. They know the Senate doesn't look good in terms of a favorable map for Democrats in 2020. So I believe, from what I'm reading, they're actually going to push back a little bit and do what they're supposed to do, or at least respond in kind. Democrats have impeached President Trump on a phone conversation that leads directly to Biden. The basis for all of this, the basis for impeachment, is that Biden should never have been investigated because, I mean, my God, Trump, anyone who investigates Biden, anyone who even thinks about Biden, perhaps being crooked, that is just interference in the election. That is just interference in the election. No other reason. There's absolutely no other reason other than election interference. That's the mentality. That's the mentality of Democrats and media. They make claims about Trump that are completely devoid of any evidence. They make grandiose claims. They don't have direct evidence he withheld military assistance because he was afraid of the No Malarkey bus tour. They don't have any evidence other than a whole bunch of witnesses that say Trump did this because we think he did this. That's it. Trump did this because we think he did this. Marie Yovanovitch even stated that President Obama's administration gave her talking points regarding Hunter Biden. Where if somebody asked her to a question regarding Biden, either Biden, especially Hunter, she was to refer that question to the vice president's office. Okay, Representative Elise Stefanik, Nico, aloha. Thank you everybody for watching. I'll get to the Super Bowl in a couple of minutes. It was a great Super Bowl. But we're even people during President Obama's administration knew that there were conflicts of interest pertaining to Hunter Biden. And they prepared Ambassador Marie Yovanovitch for them. Okay? In addition to the fact that there's a sworn affidavit from Victor Shokin that Giuliani has. He's the guy who was forced out by Biden. Biden has, by the way, quantum football! As much as I like the acquittal, I just don't think these investigations would help as much as they would have if these were witnesses at the trial. That's true. No, I agree with you. That's probably why Democrats are That's probably why Democrats are very thankful. At the end of the day, there were no witnesses. Quantum football. It's very likely. It's very likely that they're very happy that there were no witnesses because it would all lead back to Biden. All of this is leading back to Biden. Eventually, Hillary Clinton is going to be nominee. Now Iowa is going to be very interesting. But before we get to Iowa and quantum football, I agree with you. On that. Before we get to Iowa, check this out. Daily Caller, Lindsey Graham reveals Burisma witness wish list. Pledges hearings on FISA abuse. Senate Judiciary Chairman Lindsey Graham said Sunday that he and other Republicans will begin calling witnesses within weeks for hearings related to Hunter Biden's work in Ukraine, as well as the FBI surveillance of the Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. So this is really interesting. If Lindsey Graham ends up following through on this, this will be the absolute worst thing, not only for Biden's campaign, but for Democrats in general. And all you have to do is fly in Victor Shokin, and it's game over. That's it, game over. Fly in Victor Shokin. Giuliani already has a sworn affidavit from Shokin. And he has other witnesses as well. So it's game over. Because Biden is already, if they actually do engage in this, an actual probe, which is what they're saying, we're going to get to the bottom of this. Graham pledged in an interview. Hunter Biden joined the firm in 2014, shortly after his father took over as the Obama administration's main liaison to Ukraine, following the overthrow of its pro-Russian president, Viktor Yanukovych. Republicans have questioned whether Joe Biden, as vice president in 2016, improperly pressured the Ukraine government to shut down an investigation into Burisma. Joe Biden and Democrats have accused Republicans of using the Burisma issue to distract from impeachment proceedings. Of course, that's exactly what they were doing. That's actually, they had every right to. Democrats allege that Trump pressured Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, even though he stated there was no pressure, to open investigations into the Bidens in exchange for military assistance. There was no quid pro quo, and they didn't even accuse him of a specific crime. And they didn't even accuse him of anything to do with the Mueller probe. The Senate is poised this coming week, to vote to acquit Trump on 2 articles of impeachment related to his actions towards Ukraine. His actions were completely above board. Same thing that President Obama did with Egypt in 2013. He didn't inform Congress. Nobody. If you want to go into motive, what was the motive for Clinton to use a private server? You can go into motive all the time. You can go into motive and say, well, this is actually illegal. What was the motivation behind it? So transferring top secret intelligence onto servers is not legal. You cannot do that. Why? What was the motivation? Sandiford, as an Iowan, can confirm we are already bracing. Iowa's going to be very interesting. Sandiford. Let me know what you, if you think that one Democrat over another. If Bernie Sanders doesn't win Iowa, which will be interesting, if he does, they're going to cheat him even more so. They're going to actually get really nasty with Bernie if he wins Iowa. But if he doesn't win Iowa, that'll be a pretty clear confirmation that the whole thing is rigged. Because Bernie Sanders has the most passionate fan base. Even though he's not going to win, it's going to be Clinton. Iowa's going to be very, very interesting. I'm going to get to Iowa and the Super Bowl, which are 2 things I really want to talk about. But this is really, really interesting. So Graham said Republicans will eventually get to Hunter Biden after the first round of witnesses were called. He also said that he can prove beyond any doubt that Joe Biden's efforts to root out corruption in Ukraine were undermined by Hunter Biden's position on Burisma's board. Of course they were. We're not going to give him a pass on that. Of course they were. Joe Biden had a son on the board of Burisma, the same corporation that a government prosecutor was going to investigate. However, that prosecutor was forced out by Joe Biden. That is an obvious conflict of interest. If the tables were turned, could you imagine the level of vitriol? Could you imagine the level of vitriol, the overzealous, maniacal, rabid, frothing at the mouth attempt by Democrats to just leave no stone unturned? You mean Trump forced out a prosecutor? Hal Jellicoe, Richard Sherman, yeah, bad karma is the right Trump. I don't blame Sherman. It was interesting. Okay, fine, I'll get to it. I can't not talk about the Super Bowl. That was an amazing Super Bowl. And I mean, it's kind of boring throughout, back and forth, but when the Niners were up by 10 points, okay, like a touchdown and a field goal, and it was 6 minutes left? 6 minutes left. 6 minutes left. Down by 10, Kansas City, I said, this is where Mahomes makes his, this is where legends are made. So this is where Mahomes makes his legacy right here. And it wasn't just Mahomes. I mean, it was like the KC defense played really well. Really well. And it just seemed like once they scored, which, by the way, it didn't... that touchdown actually didn't look like a touchdown with the foot going out of bounds, but if the ball broke the plane of the goal line, then it was a touchdown. But they weren't. One thing I liked about Kansas City, they weren't just going for the tie. Like you could tell they were going for the win. They wanted 2 touchdowns. And once they got the first touchdown, the KC defense showed up. Oh my God. They showed up. And then the Niners don't have that offense. Garofalo is not Mahomes. They don't have that offense. And the interesting thing, too, is that the Niners had a better defense on paper. So, and the way they defeated the Packers, I was like, okay, they have a good defense. But, see, the Packers on offense weren't as good as Kansas City. So, it was just amazing. Down by 10, if you're KC, up by 10 with 6 minutes. Up by 10 with 6 minutes, your defense has to stop. Your defense has to show up more so than your offense. So it was just amazing. It was just amazing because you didn't think, with 10 minutes left, they shouldn't have won. They shouldn't have won with 10 minutes left. So Mahomes is amazing. I really like Mahomes. I really like Mahomes. I think he's awesome. But yeah, that KC team has a lot of weapons. They have a lot of things they can do, and that defense is underrated actually. Terrell Suggs, he's on the defense. That defense is underrated. Anyway, getting to Iowa, it was a great game. So, congrats to all the Kansas City Chiefs fans out there. Congratulations. Iowa, it's going to be interesting. So, I mean, they're going to investigate Biden. They're going to investigate Biden. There's already an investigation of Comey and Strzok and McCabe and Clapper that Durham and William Barr are conducting. It is really, really interesting, the fact that, here you go, Lindsey Graham wants to probe the intelligence community, the intelligence operative as well. I love how, like, if you read Slate, it's really interesting. They're like, oh my God, can you believe this? Lindsey Graham warns GOP will investigate intelligence operative Biden's after impeachment trial. Like, they're shocked. Republicans are getting ready to flip the tables and launch their own investigations after the Senate acquits President Donald Trump. Senator Lindsey Graham warned that the Senate intelligence will call the intelligence operative whose complaint ended up launching the impeachment inquiry against Trump, while the Foreign Relations Committee will investigate Joe Biden. Nice. Quote, the Senate Intel Committee under Richard Burr has told us that he will call the intelligence operative. Why is this? Why is it important? I want to know how all this, got started. Graham went on to say that he wants to know what ties the intelligence operative who first raised a red flag regarding Trump's phone call with Ukraine, President Zelensky, has with Democrats. Quote, if the intelligence operative is a former employee associate of Joe Biden, I think that would be important. See, Hillary Clinton is light years away of everybody. She's going to be nominee. I am the only person on the planet who called this since 2017. It will not be Biden. It will not be Bernie, because they're cheating Bernie as we speak. It will not be Warren. When people say, well, nobody likes Clinton. Well, nobody likes Biden. Who cares? I mean, what does it matter? It's like, at a certain point, it's like, just it's a process of elimination. And at the end of the day, who comes out on top? It's not Biden, and it's not anyone else. It's Clinton. If the intelligence operative was working with people on Schiff's staff that wanted to take down Trump a year and a half ago, I think that would be important. If the Schiff staff people helped write the complaint, that would be important. We're going to get to the bottom of all of this to make sure this never happens again. So they know what 2020 is around the corner for the Senate. They know Supreme Court nominees are at stake. They know Supreme Court nominees are at stake. This is about the Supreme Court now. So Republicans right now aren't only focusing on trying to appease media anymore. So Republicans have been trying to appease media for the past 3 years. They've been trying to limit what President Trump can do. I just when you look at what's going on, there's nobody else but Hillary Clinton who can win. Nobody else. Biden's done. Biden's done. I will have called this 3 years ahead. There is no Biden campaign. If impeachment didn't already make it irrelevant, because this is, okay, things only get worse from here on out. They don't get better. Things only get worse. They don't get better. Now you have investigations of Hunter, the intelligence operative, Biden. That makes Biden's campaign irrelevant. He can't win with that. There's also something called zero enthusiasm over Joe Biden. Absolutely, positively zero. Zero enthusiasm. Zero enthusiasm. But I mean, let's get to Iowa really quickly. Let's get to Iowa really quickly. So, Iowa. This is going to be interesting. Very interesting. So, they endorsed Elizabeth Warren, the Des Moines Register. So that's interesting. They had a chance to go with the real deal in that world. Bernie, I don't think is the real deal, but... Oh, I love this. Now everyone's writing, Bernie Sanders has what it takes to win. When I was writing, it was, oh my God, clickbait, oh my God, how can you do that? Now... they're writing it, and he has even less of a chance than he did in 2016. They're cheating him even worse. So, yeah, this is it's going to be interesting. I think that if Bernie Sanders doesn't win Iowa, I don't think he'll win Iowa, but let's say he wins Iowa. Well, hold on. Des Moines Register. Why Des Moines Register makes a presidential caucus endorsement and how the decision is reached. So, Elizabeth Warren. They picked Elizabeth Warren, which is interesting, which is exactly why Warren is there. Because if Warren wasn't there, they would have picked Bernie Sanders. That's the closest, that would be the next logical step, not Biden. Many of her ideas aren't radical, they're right. She must show that her version she cares about people. Okay. That's why she endorsed Bernie Sanders in 2016. Oh, that's right, she didn't. Oh. That's interesting. That's interesting. That is hilarious. Then you Trump, his Super Bowl interview with Hannity predicts fall of Pelosi. Radical left is going to take over. See, he knows that's not going to happen. The radical left is not going to take over. But Paul Krugman admits economy is doing pretty well after predicting Trump would lead to global recession. Oh, that's so great. I love that. I love that. I love that. They don't know, like, they're pretty much... They live in a world, see, the thing is, they've painted themselves in a corner, Democrats, because the sky was always falling with Trump. And then when things are actually good, they're like, well, where do we go from here? So it'll be interesting what happens in Iowa. If Bernie gets third, you could pretty much say that the whole thing is rigged beyond belief. He almost won Iowa. He should have won Iowa in 2016. He should have won Iowa in 2016. But, you know, add in some coin flips, and there you go. This is really going to be interesting. If Democrats, let's see. Democrats are not going to, so it's going to be tomorrow, obviously. Democrats are not going to, they're not going to leave Iowa politically in a stable place. They're not going to leave Iowa in a stable place. And they're basically, this entire thing is basically, how do we... Johnson Kennedy! Thank you, Johnson Kennedy. Thank you. Thank you. Hope you had a great Super Bowl Sunday. Thank you, Johnson Kennedy. Thank you. This whole thing with Iowa is that at the end of the day, tomorrow evening, we're going to find out just how bad they're going to cheat Bernie Sanders. Oh, I feel bad laughing, but whatever. You get in bed with snakes and scorpions. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? What a Super Bowl. What a Super Bowl. Let's see. Let's look at the polls really quickly. So you have an average of Sanders up by 4, but you had Biden up 6, then Sanders up 7. How do you get these types of polls? Like, that's why Biden. Okay, so Biden. So then they could say when Bernie loses, they go, it's within the margin of error. If Biden leaves Iowa as number 1, I'm going to laugh so hard. My amazing prediction will be even more cemented in history. Watch, like, nothing. They're investigating Biden right now, and it's not like you're talking about Clinton. There is no reasonable prosecutor thing with Biden. Oh my God, Warren has 15%, and Sanders would be running away with it if it wasn't for Warren. Too bad they're going to cheat him no matter what, but, you know. Bolton's security clearance in jeopardy in wake of book leaks. Oh, that would be the greatest. Oh my God, that would be so amazing. Please pull a security clearance, please. Let's see. How is Biden even close to Bernie Sanders? But whatever. What do I care? Bernie's going to be cheated anyway. Wow, look at this. Look at this. Now, you mean to tell me that Klobuchar is 8.6% and Tulsi Gabbard is 1.2%? I mean, that's part of cheating Bernie right there. So Biden is still he's below Bernie, but then they're going to say, well, you know. So Biden was at 20. Let's see. If you look at 538, which is tailor-made to just explain the eventual debacle, because they have very interesting polls here. Okay, you could say 538 is the most accurate in terms of polling. Maybe this year. I don't know. They still have Biden at tied with Bernie Sanders. I mean, they still have Biden up. No, Biden was then. He's basically tied. So Sanders at 22 and then Biden at 21.5. How is Biden at 21.5? Oh my God, they're the biggest cheaters on the planet. There's nothing that Biden offers anyone except Burisma. Oh my God, Buttigieg, yeah, 15.4%, yeah. Oh my God, please win, Buttigieg, please win Iowa. So my prophecy will be completed. If anyone but Bernie wins Iowa, Clinton not only is the nominee, it's going to be overt cheating. If Bernie wins Iowa, then they're going to be crafty and then just be very, very vicious and cheat Bernie Sanders. Either way, the thing is completely and utterly rigged to begin with. Carl's opinion. Hope all is well. Hope you had a great Super Bowl Sunday, Carl. According to the Washington Examiner, Trump campaign is sending all the heavy hitters to Iowa tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. Also, I bet they buried the Des Moines Register CNN Mediacom poll because it shows Sanders in the lead. It's true. It's true in plain view. It's pretty much true. If you look, the indictments are not imminent because James Comey covered up Clinton's crimes, but they're eventual. So the indictments are eventual. Carl's opinion. If you look though, Carl at 538, they actually have this year. 538 has some pretty good. They're the only ones that I can find with. I guess Real Clear Politics has the aggregate polling, but They have a really great chart here at 538. The polls are all nonsense anyway. They're cheating Bernie. This is all like smoke and mirrors. Same thing that happened in 2016. This is even worse nowadays. But how do you have... This is really interesting. The way it works, though, is that even if Bernie is ahead in an auditorium or a venue, if it's Sanders and Biden, so everyone, all 400 plus people, Carl, everyone, let's say Sanders, let's say Bernie and Biden walk into a room, and then you have Klobuchar, and then you have Warren, and then you have everyone else. Okay, let's say they walk into a room. All right. Bernie has 20% of the room. Biden has 17% of the room. Okay. Everyone else could decide to vote for Biden. All the other voters who are voting for other people, they can morph into, like, imagine like different amoebas. You have two of the biggest ones, and then you have a lot of small ones. The small ones could just morph into the Biden amoeba and become bigger. That's the thing. It's tailor-made. This is tailor-made for Bernie to lose. It's pretty unbelievable. Oh, Phoebe. Okay, Phoebe Beach. Yes, let me check that out. Hold on. What does Trump say? What is Trump saying? Oh, great Super Bowl ad, by the way. President Donald Trump, we have a positive revolution going on in America. So he's taking Bernie's. Oh my God, he's taking Bernie's. He's taking Bernie's, tagline, whatever, and then turning it. I'm trying to find. Oh my God, this is so great. I'm trying to find the actual tweet. What does he say? All right, so hold on one second. Let's see here. This is hilarious. It's going to be interesting. I have no clue what happens tomorrow, other than I know Bernie will be cheated because it's a political machine. Clinton will eventually become nominee. The whole thing's a charade and a farce. But that's interesting. Bloomberg's at 1.2%. How is Klobuchar at 10%? How is Klobuchar at 10%, but Gabbard's at 1. Where are these people who find Amy Klobuchar to be more exciting and more interesting and more like a better nominee than Tulsi Gabbard? Where are those? Where are those people? I don't know. Everyone who would possibly vote for Bernie in that weird system Iowa has are what part of the 1.2% for Gabbard. Everyone else is just gonna end up voting for Bernie's competitor, which is kind of hilarious. It's kind of hilarious. So I don't think Iowa's going to be very interesting. How is Biden up in Iowa? There you go. It's like 8 hours ago, CBS News poll Biden Sanders tied for first in Iowa. How on earth is Biden tied? What is he? He's insulted Iowa voters. Look, what do I care? Do you think I care? This is going to be very enjoyable for me because everything I say is going to be vindicated. Whatever. It's not about me. It'll be the biggest political call of all time when suddenly Hillary Clinton, who I wrote about this in 2017, she's every single day, she's doing everything possible to help the candidates, like trying to, like accepting the $50 million lawsuit from Tulsi Gabbard. Oh my God. Biden is not feasible. He cannot become nominee. He cannot become nominee. The corn pop effect. John, that's awesome. Biden cannot become nominee. There's too many problems, and he's basically telling, if he wins Iowa after insulting Iowa voters, that will be the best. I think Buttigieg has a chance also. Buttigieg could win Iowa. Mayor Pete could win Iowa. It'll be interesting. I have to say, it's going to be interesting. I think that they'll cheat Bernie. Bernie could possibly win, but that would be interesting because that would mean that Iowa isn't part of the Democratic Party machinery. So, Biden is brilliant. Poll Biden Sanders for first place, tied for first place in Iowa. That's not good. That means that Biden, because of the way it's set up, will either easily win or there'll be somebody else that Biden voters go to make sure that Bernie doesn't win. If Bernie doesn't win Iowa, you could best believe that the DNC fraud lawsuit, where DNC attorneys say that we can pick our nominee in back rooms, that is coming to fruition. It may not be the gold standard, but it will have to do. The disappointing shelving of the Des Moines Register MediaCom poll due to a technical error. A font issue led Des Moines Register to abruptly erase release of critical Iowa poll. That's so hilarious. The release of the poll was called off. Gee, I wonder why. High-profile Iowa poll won't be released. This Carl is exactly what you were talking about. The Des Moines Register, CNN is polling have decided not to release the final installment. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder who was leading there. Probably Bernie. Quick! The poll... No, it's a font issue. We have a font. It's a bad font. It was supposed to be Times New Roman. Yeah. Font issue. We were gonna, we wanted it in Courier. It's the font issue. It's a big problem. Big problem we have. It's a font issue. Everything is perfectly fine and fair. We have an issue with the font. Oh my God. That's so great. That's so great. Buttigieg looks really good. Mayor Pete looks really, really, really good. I think that he could do it. Because if Mayor Pete wins, that's like a huge insult to Bernie Sanders. Comic Sans. Yeah, exactly. The font, big problem. Ixnay on the Olpay. Font A. Problem. Big problem. No. Big problem. No malarkey. No more malarkey. Yay. No more malarkey. No more malarkey. No more malarkey. The No Malarkey Bus Tour. So they The Des Moines Register CNN Mediacom poll due to a technical error. So, and things look pretty steady at the top. Former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders are at 25%, and Mayor Pete is at 21%. So Pete Buttigieg is going to win. Because Bernie was just coincidentally at Senate impeachment this whole time. That had nothing to do with Pelosi keeping the articles of impeachment forever for no reason. Nothing. Absolutely. Everything just happened. Don't you understand? Nothing happens for a specific reason, except when you read the DNC emails, and then you knew that there was a specific reason. Yeah, and you knew. Then you knew. Didn't you know? Then you knew. Yeah. Oh. Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi. Oh, looks like Biden's going to win Iowa, or maybe Mayor Pete. Who knows? All we know is that Bernie's going to be cheated. Pelosi, the Pelosi with the most. You're cheating Bernie again, aren't you? Too bad. It'll be very amusing watching your political party be relegated to the dustbin of history. Democrats will be relegated to the dustbin of history. Too bad for you. You mess with the bull, you get the horns. Get into the octagon, you're going to get kaboobed. Thank you, Arya Lee. Thank you. Jay, good morning in England. Thank you. Congrats on Brexit. So, this is just great news all around. Brexit, Trump gets acquitted. Iowa is going to be the first in a series of rigged contests. Oh, my God. Oh. Look, I'm a Trump supporter. I'm voting for Trump. And I think that Bernie has made his bed. But I will say this. Nobody other than Bernie Sanders should win. Nobody. He's the person with the most support. Obviously, he's not going to win. Bernie Sanders will not win Iowa. It'll be Buttigieg, and they'll be on their way to cheating Bernie yet again. If Bernie ends up third behind Mayor Pete and Biden, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have gotten in bed with James Comey and Clapper and Brennan and all the cutthroat intelligence operatives who don't care about the 1%. In fact, why is Bloomberg and Steyer in this thing anyway? Oh. Okay, let's see. So the latest poll. So if Bernie and Biden are tied, that means Bernie's not going to win. Because if it's close in any way, they'll cheat Bernie. It was the Iowa, celestial tiebreaker. And we were looking at the Andromeda Galaxy, and the T-1000 comet was flying at warp speed. You know what? If it flew at Mach 20, then that would mean Bernie would win. But it was flying at warp speed. See, it's not our fault. Look at the Andromeda Galaxy. Look at the comets. Not our fault. Not our fault. Not our fault. So everything's fair. And then you'll get the fact check. No, the Andromeda Galaxy didn't cheat Bernie Sanders. They're like whatever they'll do. Like however they'll cheat Bernie, you'll get the articles. No, Bernie wasn't cheated by 55 coin flips. Stupid. Let's see here. Biden, Sanders tied first place in Iowa, February 2nd. Oh my God. Oh my God, this is hilarious. Biden and Sanders tied at 25% in Iowa. 25. How are they tied? Who is a Biden voter? Biden is like literally putting his hands all over voters. Hey, vote for somebody else. Why don't you vote for somebody else, huh? Don't vote for me then. Don't vote for me. Don't vote for me. Don't vote for me. Don't vote for me. That's what he says. Don't vote for me. Free Corona for everyone. That's awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, that's definitely not a good marketing campaign for... Oh, my God. Thank you, Eric H526. You know, I am starting a sports channel. If you do want to... let's see, got 538 subs. Let's try to get it to 1,000. But Eric H526 has the link right there. Thank you, Eric H526. Thank you. So let's see, you know, how is like, this is what I don't understand. Bernie Sanders was like at 12% in Iowa in October, 11%, and Biden at 21%. How did that even in October? Like, how does that even happen? They're cheating him so badly, it's just horrendous. I mean, as they're cheating him as we speak. Don't vote for me, Biden 2020. Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, Clinton will be a nominee, and however it happens, however it takes place, it is going down. Whether it's brokered convention, after Super Tuesday, before Super Tuesday, I don't care. I don't care. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, God bless. To my super chat, thank you so very much, Carl. Thank you, everybody. And tomorrow's going to be an interesting day, ladies and gentlemen. I will definitely check out my live stream tomorrow. Definitely check out my live stream tomorrow at like around 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Pacific. I have a feeling Bernie Sanders will be cheated even more so than he was. And in 2016, Bernie, it's going to be really interesting. They're going to cheat him so horribly. So just watch this channel to find out how. Give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. I'm going to have an upload on that. A really interesting upload. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. Check it out right this second. Thank you, everybody. God bless. To my super chat, thank you.